gang. Woo! Hello and welcome to a VO's journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Today, we've got a fantastic show. It is Wednesday, February, what is today? February 12th. Today is the 12th of February. It's great to have you guys here. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to do a voice acting tip. I've been doing a lot of coaching recently and with some amazing voice actors. And, you know, a lot of what's been going on with all the coaching has really been boiling down to acting. So I thought it would be a really cool idea to give a tip today on the show to really help anyone who's watching become better at voice acting. And I want to preface this by saying, as we all know, our audio and the quality of our audio is something that we all work extremely hard to figure out. And if it's not right, it bugs the snot out of us. However, in the end, right, the quality of our audio is extremely important, but the acting, our voice acting is what really separates us from everyone else. Because we'll get the audio correct. We'll get the equipment we need, the help we need. We'll get all of that. But if our acting sucks, we are not going to get anywhere. So I want to take today to talk about a great way to become better at voice acting. And it's a simple word, and it's called... Are you ready for it? It's called imitation. Okay, I had you there. They got to remember, right? And imitation is an extremely powerful word. And it's a great word for us to dive into for our voice acting tip today. Now, I want to emphasize the word imitate and not impersonate. The difference, right, is impersonating is when we actually try to sound like someone else. We actually try to speak as if someone wouldn't be able to, tell the difference between who is actually speaking, right? We sound exactly like the other person. Where imitation is where we imitate someone else's cadence or the way they express emotion or, all kinds of different things that people do, but we don't try to sound like them. All right? We don't try to sound like them. And I also want to point out something else that I've noticed as well. And first off, I want you all to give yourselves a break, for goodness sake, on how well you are at voice acting. Because if you have, perfect example, if you have a significant other, and your significant other has ever said to you, you're just not good at describing the way you feel, or you're not good at telling us this type of thing, this type of emotion this way or that way. You have to understand that just because we are we're acting, because this is all acting, right? Just because we're doing this for a living and we are being paid doesn't mean that we are actually as good at all of the different ways of expressing ourselves and emotions as other people are, right? We just might not be that good, right? So that's another thing that you have to take in consideration. Whether you are, someone who is just starting out or someone who's been doing this for a while, you might not be great at speaking in a manner, in a nurturing tone. Maybe you just don't nurture. Maybe that's not you. Maybe you're the person who's like, get up off your backside and get to work. Maybe that's you, and that's fine. All right? But maybe that's a struggle for you. Okay? But maybe you're not the person who's authoritative. Right? Maybe you don't like to tell people what to do. Maybe you're better at taking direction, and you're more of a soft-spoken person. Okay? You don't lay the smack down. You're more of an accepting person. That's okay too. All of these different things, they make us who we are. However, when we are hired to be actors, we are expected, this is the crazy thing, and this is why I wanted to talk to you about this today. We are expected to be ourselves, yet channel emotions or feelings or messages that we may not be very good at doing. And if we're not good at doing them, how can we expect to be good at doing them when we get in front of a microphone or up on a stage or wherever, right? All right, we're not going to be unless we find a way to imitate that message, that feeling, that emotion, right? So that's why I want to talk about imitation to you today. So what I would like for you to do as you go along and to test this thing out, our goal with all of this is to find people, and they could be famous, they could be, we're going to use Morgan Freeman today, okay? And we all know Morgan Freeman, and we've all seen people probably really great impersonators, okay? People who impersonate Morgan Freeman who do really well. I know some amazing impersonators. But I don't want us to impersonate Morgan Freeman. I want us to imitate. Now, this is just one person. We're going to use some other examples, but we're starting out with him. To imitate how he actually speaks using his cadence, using inflections in his voice, but at the same time doing it with our voice. Does that make sense? So you are not trying to sound like you're not trying to, drop your voice and be super low and have that kind of southern accent or thing that he does, right? But we're trying to imitate the cadence, the tone, the pauses, those things. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to imitate them. So what you do is you go on, like I said, go to YouTube, to the thousands of things that he's narrated, and listen to them. Okay, listen to one of them, and as you listen to it, I want you to repeat those lines, but not trying to impersonate him, but imitate. Imitate the style, imitate the pauses, imitate the cadence. Then get some copy and try to apply it. It will blow your mind. It will absolutely blow your mind, because I think so many times when we listen to other people, we try to listen to them in the context of what if we actually were impersonating them? How can we make it sound like them? Instead of us trying to imitate them. I mean, drama, right? Acting is imitation. We know that. We are imitating a part of life. We are imitating an idea, a message, a point in place and time. That's what acting is. It's imitation. And we can say acting is reacting and all of this stuff, but in the end, we're imitating something because we're not really living it. Here's another great example. I love this ad. If you haven't seen the Apple ad, I think it's about 10 or 11 years ago, and RichardDreyfuss, Steve Jobs also narrated it, but RichardDreyfuss narrated it as well. And RichardDreyfuss has such a unique style with the way he talks and the way he narrates that piece. It's an amazing piece to listen to. The reason why I'm not playing it here is because I don't think I have the right. I think YouTube won't let me actually play these different things. I think they'll shut me down because I don't have the right to play it or whatever. But anyways, the point is that you can just search Apple RichardDreyfuss and it'll come up, and it's a very unique style, cadence, tone, pauses, the way he finishes quickly, the way he elongates specific parts of a word and then shortens the other parts of the word. It expresses an idea differently than Morgan Freeman expresses an idea. But we as actors want to be able to express those ideas like both of them, but as ourselves. Does that make sense to you? We want to try to widen what we can do, what we can offer in, spreading a message and an idea by imitating others. Okay, that's a really great one to look at. Another really one, and I know we're talking about guys right now, but another great is what is it? What is his name? Attenborough, right? Attenborough, incredible guy to listen to, right? He's done, narrated every, chased every animal around on this earth, right? Amazing guy to listen to. But here's the thing. What makes him amazing? Yeah, his voice, I mean, he's got that, older, kind of little gravelly, worn, torn voice, but it's the inflection. All right? It's the inflection in his voice. It's the speed, the tempo, how he I mean, of all the people, if you really listen to his voice and then try to imitate it, you will see the range in that guy's voice is unreal. I mean, he's up here and then he's down here. I mean, it's incredible, but what makes it unique to me is how he shapes it, right? How he shapes from the beginning of a phrase. I had to sneeze. Excuse me. How he shapes from the beginning of a phrase, right, to the end of a phrase. And the way he elongates certain places, shortens other places, all of those things, I want you to imitate it, not impersonate it. Don't try to sound like him, okay? But try to imitate the cadence, the inflection, the emphasis on certain places, okay? I will admit to you, I am, probably one of those people that really does like to listen to a wide variety of things. You know what I mean? And I take things from movies and entertainment as well as news and documentaries. All these different things I listen to are really, really helpful. And I want to give you another really helpful tip because it got me on that track thinking is TED Talks. TED Talks are wonderful. I love TED Talks. Yes, for the knowledge, that's important too. But you have some really amazing female and male dynamic speakers on that platform. And you can go on there and you can imitate the cadences, the tones, the styles that these people speak in. And some of these people are some of the best speakers in the world. It's really exciting to do. I love doing this. This is a challenge that I've done with some of my students in the past, and I've been thinking about bringing it back. But it's really cool. If you go to YouTube, go to a TED Talk, right? Go on to the, on the three dots below on the screen, you open that up and it'll say open transcript. You click on that, and on the right side of the screen or whatever, it'll pop up all the words. I want you to copy and paste those words into a document, and then I want you to, before you listen to them, that's right. I got my pencil too, Scott. Just my ceremonial pencil. My ceremonial pencil. Anyway, you got me off topic, Scott. It's your fault. What was I saying? Yes, sorry. Copy those words down, paste them onto a document. Then I want you to record yourself saying those lines without seeing the video yet. Then I want you to go back and I want you to watch the video and follow along with the lines. And I want you to listen to both what you did and what the person who did it and see how they shaped those words, they said them, how that expression of the different places where they elongated words and shortened them, where their inflection was, where they ended them, where they ended down, where they ended up. Was there questions? Were they statements? Were they ideas? Was it authoritative, conversational? Did they speed up and then they slowed down? How did it all come together? You've got to analyze these things. If anyone tells you that it's just supernatural, that is such a lie. It's not supernatural. We were all born with gifts. Absolutely, I totally believe it. But there comes a point where your gifts will only take you so far and you have to build skill behind them. Or you have a bunch of raw talent and you don't know how to harness it correctly. All right? I mean, that's really, really, really something that is important to me to express to you, that you've got to look at it that way. I was looking up here. Beth asked any famous women I can study. See, this is something that I have to say, and I'll be completely honest with you because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I think being a guy, I don't follow as many famous female speakers as I do male speakers, although in my lifetime in real life, I have sat on some amazing female speakers. But you could definitely, that's why I brought up kind of the TED Talk thing too, because I know there's such a wide range of male and female speakers on there. And there's been many, many different women in the spotlight too that you can look after. But I will say that, Beth, it might be something too to point out that, they're not as wide, at least to me, they're not as widely known as the male speakers are. And that's probably not right. There should be more. But you could definitely find them. And actually, you know what I would do if I was you? I'm going to do this right now, Beth, even though you guys can't see this. If I was to type in female, like I go to YouTube and I type in female inspirational speakers, this comes up. First thing that pops up, and we've got all kinds of women here. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about this lady. I love this woman. She posted the book, The 5-Second Rule. I don't know if you all have ever read that. Her name is Mel Robbins. It's absolutely wonderful. Mel Robbins. She's a fantastic speaker. I love Mel Robbins. It's Mel, M-E-L. Excuse me. And it's a 5-second rule. The idea behind this book is, when something pops into our minds, we have about 5 seconds or less to actually take action on it. Or after that, our brain will come up with a bunch of ways not to do it. And, when she was struggling, she talked about, how she went through all this thing where she realized that if I came up with an idea or something popped into my head that I should do, I need to take action within that first 5 seconds, or I'm going to convince myself not to do it. Anyways, Mel Robbins is a really awesome one. Great. I love the fact that people are putting names down here. But you can, yeah, absolutely. You could definitely look on just like I did, and you've got all sorts of people. Oprah. We've got so many women on here as well. So I would definitely take a look at that, and you'll find all sorts of women. So great question. Thank you, Beth, for having that. So I hope that this helps out and helps give you some ideas of why I believe imitation is the key to helping you become a better voice actor. Because again, I can't stress enough, don't be hard on yourself because you might not actually be able to express an emotion that you're being able to express, or you just might not be very good at it. So in order to get better at it, you've got to imitate, study people who are very good at it. And then from watching them, you can get better at something. Here's a great example to try to drive my point home. And I've talked about this before when we've talked about acting. But when I was coaching actors for the stage, there would inevitably come the time where they had to conjure some very strong emotion, like they needed to cry on stage, or, they needed to, convince, a whole entire room of thousands of people that they actually love someone. Right? Which, if you think about it, those are probably some of the hardest words to say when you don't really love someone. Okay? Even though it's easy to say, I love you, but to convince people that you really love someone who you don't love can be extremely challenging. But here's the thing, and this is what I'm doing. I'm going with all this. I would show people how to bring about these feelings, these ways of showing emotion, these outward expressions, all right, through imitating the physicality that goes into them when they are happening. So I know I've talked about crying, but if you wanted someone to cry, put yourself in a place where you actually start physically taking up the position like you were crying. A lot of people put their, we put our head into our hands, all right, we scrouch over, all these certain ways of our body moves. Physically, it moves. So there's like this outward expression to invoke the inward emotion. Does that make sense? And for our sakes, this is the same thing we are doing when we are imitating other people's outward expression to bring out the inward emotion. But it has to come from outside first. It's amazing, the physiology, just like, perfect example, another example. Have you ever dressed, and now you might not be someone who likes, who was on stage and put on costumes, but we dress up to go to work. Maybe you've put on a really nice dress or a really nice suit to go out on a date or to go to a charity event or a dance or something, or somewhere where we are dressing up. And when we get dressed up, we do our hair, we put on good smelling stuffs, and we look good, we feel good, it changes how we act. Or at the same token, we put on some, stretchy pants and, an old beat up shirt, and we lay around the house. All right. We feel different. We might feel a little bit like schlubs. Okay. It's because also, again, it's the outward expression that brings out the inward emotion. And having that knowledge will allow you then to search around for different outward expressions from other people. It doesn't have to be your own outward expression. You can imitate other people's outward expression to invoke that inward emotion that everyone is searching for. And more importantly, it will be your emotion and you doing it, not you impersonating someone else, but imitating that expression. That, ladies and gentlemen, is acting, and damn fine acting. There you go. I feel like now I dropped it on the floor. I gotta pick it up. Nuts. All right. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, or my God, that guy's crazy, you could put that in there. But let me go ahead and welcome everybody. Thank you. We got people joining us over on Instagram. We got Rich. We got Kurt. What's up? We've got Loch Ness Media. Cool. I love it. Mandy. We've got Afro Sam. I think that's it. Oh Dark. We got over on Facebook. We got Dwight. What's up, man? Donna from YouTube. Flip. Dwight. Samir. Hey, my man. Nick. What's up? Lazarus. Bill. We got Nick over on YouTube. Well, I just said that. I'm like repeating people's names. Dwight said, I had a coach years ago who called it reflective interpretation. Thank you, Anthony. You brought me back. I appreciate it so much. Absolutely. That's awesome. Beth says, based on what, right, we talked about that. Scott, what up, Anthony? I brought my pencil. Sorry, bro. Let's see. I know, Beth, we talked about that, about the famous women. Absolutely. Sigourney Weaver. Nice. Female comic who does amazing character voices. Maria Bamford. Mark Derry says Kristen Bell. Yep. Samantha says, yes, Mel Robbins is great. Yep. Beth, I was wondering names that aren't well known. Watch out, world. The challenge is on for me to be the next rising female VO star. Absolutely, Beth. You go for it. Samir, boom. Richard, what's good, Anthony? Hey, Phil. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. And again, simple tactics, simple tools. Go to YouTube. Find someone, whether you want inspirational, you want emotional. You want to, and by the way, here's a great way to do it. Let's say you get a piece of copy and someone tells you, I really want it to be inspirational but conversational at the same time. When you hear the word conversational, I always want you to think in your mind, bam, they want me to be me. Conversational at this point in our world of VO should equal they want me to be me. But you will notice that someone doesn't just say be conversational. They'll say, I want you to be conversational, but I want you to be professional, or I want you to be inspiring, or I want you to be something else, but be conversational, right? It should equal they want you to be you. They want you to inject something about you into it. So again, go to YouTube, type in those words, and put speaker or put place, and start to look and imitate what you see, and do a couple different takes. it will blow your mind. I promise you. You'll be like, wow, I can't believe that's me. You'll have a hard time at first not impersonating. Your voice might shift a little bit. But do your very best to practice being you and trying to imitate the cadences, the outward expressions of that emotion so that you can trigger the inward emotion and get it to come across on the recording. All right, you guys. Let's see. Is there anything else here? We've got Flip says, sorry if off topic. Oh, Flip. Already I know it's not good. But I'm having trouble using keywords for finding different types of emotions off of commercials for developing scripts. Any specific? That's so funny that you said that, Flip. I posted. Well, you know what? I haven't posted it all today, but I just posted on Instagram a little bit ago. One of my minute videos about coming up with scripts. Yes, I think I did a whole video on where to find them. I actually love using the internet branded sites with that have great words and copy already built in to where you could take and pull. I love using magazines. I love using copy that's already written that I can then take and piece together and create my own copy. Because these are words, phrases that people, companies have spent billions and millions and billions of dollars on. So instead of coming up with your own, stuff, trying to create something brand new that's never been done before, create something new from things that have been done. Right? That's really something that I do. So I would say that, keywords were probably not what you want to do. You actually go to branded websites, get magazines, heck, go to Barnes & Noble or something for a little bit and just hang out in the magazine section or online or use all the stuff. I use all the stuff that comes in. My wife's like crazy, right? She's like, can you just throw the stuff away? Because I keep like all the coupons and the stuff, and I don't use them for coupons. I use them to write copy. So anyways, good question. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Remember, please like, subscribe, share this. And if you're on Twitter, go ahead and retweet it. I would love you forever. And also, by the way, Fiverr Elite group, if you've not checked that out, that's an awesome, awesome group to be in. We meet every Saturday. We do nothing but help grow our businesses on Fiverr using data, using reviews, these sorts of things that I do here. And I just do that on a more intimate basis with the people in the group. So you could find that on my website, avosjourney.com, or you'll be able to find it here attached to this video in the link. And I thank you guys very much. I will give you a salute. I salute you. Goodbye.